So this here is the Haikelite RA40, and this is a monster of a flashlight. Produces 35,000 lumens, comes with a 30,000 milliamp hour battery, and is the perfect flood plus throw combo that's going to blow your mind if you're looking for something powerful. So as you can see, it's a pretty large flashlight, and it's meant to be carried on a strap in a backpack, that kind of thing. So it's perfect if you're someone that's using this for search and rescue, camping. There are some very useful lower modes in there, even for emergencies or at work if you need to illuminate a large work area. So a little demo, basically, that's the handle. You can take that off. It actually came without it attached. I think in general use, I'll probably attach the strap and that's it. Doesn't get hot enough for me to really need that handle, but you've got this button here on the side. Press to turn on, and you can press and hold to ramp to the top. Double press for the 35,000 lumen mode. It's just blinding me at the moment. There is also a stepped ramping mode in here that you can switch to. A few other modes like a strobe mode too, and SOS mode, and there's a faster strobe mode. Okay, let's have a look at what you get in the box. Of course, you get the flashlight itself, and this is the massive 46950 battery. This is the largest battery that I've seen in a flashlight, and it's actually rated at 32,000 milliamp hours, even though the box says 30,000 milliamp hours. And yeah, this thing is hefty, really hefty. It adds a lot of weight to the flashlight. And you do get a shoulder strap here as well, and the attachment points are just underneath the head. So there's a few little grooves here on the head and here on the tail. You can also attach it to this handle, but I'd recommend attaching it to the body just in case the handle comes loose. And the handle is made of aluminium as well. Feels pretty solid. You have this screw here that you can turn by hand, but I recommend using a screwdriver to just get it to fit more snug. Do get a spare O-ring that goes just underneath the battery tube there. And there are a couple of cables as well. So this is your usual USB-C to A cable, and here's a USB-C to C cable, because this light can also be used as an emergency power bank. And you do get an instruction manual with the light too. So here is my Haikelite RA40 next to the Convoy L8. And in terms of the head, pretty similar in terms of diameter. But yeah, the big thing is that battery tube. With that 46950 battery, takes up a larger space, obviously. And I've got my Astrolux WP3 here to the left. Alrighty, so here's a little close-up of the Haikelite RA40. And it comes with this really nice silver coating. And this is one chunky light, weighs close to 1.5 kilograms. And, the battery itself, I think, weighs 0.5 kilogram. So it's pretty hefty, as you can see. And minimalist. I do like that there is no branding on the side of the flashlights. It's made of 6063 aluminium alloy, which apparently has better heat dissipation qualities than 6061. And overall, the machining is excellent. There's no rough spots, no sharp spots. And the anodizing is applied evenly. It is a little smooth, but the knurling does help with grip. And yeah, I would say the overall finish and construction quality is on par with other brands I've used before, like Woburn, Ace Beam, HA3 finish. And you do have this bezel here as well. Feels pretty rugged and built for outdoors use. And it's also IP65 rated. In terms of operating the flashlight, you've got this switch here on the side. So it also functions as a battery and charging indicator. So it glows red and turns blue once fully charged. And you've got this USB-C port here on the back underneath that rubber gasket, which is good. And you can also use this as a USB-C power bank. It supports fast charging and is rated from 15 to 22.5 watts. So that's the screw hole here that you use to attach the handle, and you can unscrew the light under the head. You can take off the tail. You can even remove the bezel if you like. So here's a little look underneath the bezel, and you've got 40 of these HK3535 LEDs. These are high CRI, so rated at 95 and above. So this is, yeah, basically going to give you very accurate colors, no washed out blue. And you've got this orange peel, multiple orange peel reflector, kind of looks a bit like a flower. And you've got this tempered AR coated glass lens. And the bezel is aluminium, crenulated, and I think it would be effective for striking, breaking a window. In terms of the UI, it's pretty simple. So it's just press once essentially to switch on, and you press and hold to ramp up and ramp down. Now, once you get to the top of the ramp, you can double press for that 35,000 lumen mode. Okay. And you can double press again to get into a strobe. There's this SOS mode, a really fast strobe as well. Okay, and you can go back to the main ramp, press once to turn on off. Now there is also a step ramp, so if you press 3 times, it will blink like that, and then you can see the sort of step ramp mode. And the instruction manual has some information about these different modes. So the first step is apparently 200 lumens, then you've got 2000 lumens, 4500 lumens, 8000 lumens, and then double press for the 35,000 lumens. You can also lock the flashlight, so when it's off, just press and hold the switch for 3 seconds, and you get like a flash. And now the light doesn't do anything, but you just press and hold for 3 seconds, and you get the flash again, and light turns on. So I ran a bunch of tests with the Haikelite RA40. This is the 35,000 lumen mode, and you can see you get 2 minutes of runtime on that highest mode before it steps down. It's pretty impressive given the amount of output, and you can see it steps down to just under 20% of output. This is a second ceiling bounce test on the 8000 lumen mode, and you can see here you get close to 6 minutes of runtime before the light steps down to about 50%. This is the final ceiling bounce test that I ran on 4500 lumens, and this is the sustainable mode, so it doesn't step down, at least not significantly. You can see here it starts at 100%, run it for 25 minutes, and you're probably sitting on about 95% at the end of the test, and Haikelite claim that this does not step down until the battery has drained. Here are some tests that I ran with my Audible Lightmaster Pro, and you can see on the 35,000 lumen mode, I measured 354 meters, which is actually above specifications. And even on the 8,000 lumen mode, you get over 200 meters of range, which is quite impressive given this is, I guess, designed as a more floody sort of flashlight. CRI was 100 on all modes, and you can see the CCT was more on the warm end, so 4,600 on all modes. So some considerations if you're thinking of getting the Haikelite RA40. Of course, the size and weight of this light makes it impossible to pocket. It's very heavy to carry, so it's nearly 1.5 kilograms, especially with this gigantic battery in there. But you know, this larger design does help with heat sinking. It's required for all of these LEDs here in the head, and for that high output, you really can't get past that. The second consideration is the turbo mode heats up and steps down fairly quickly. So, I mean, 2 minutes is still pretty decent on the highest mode, but yeah, considering the light is still comfortable to hold afterwards, I think that's just a compromise that they've made. The third consideration is the long charging times, and that's due to this massive battery in there if you're charging it from 0 to 100. But if you're topping up, you're probably going to be okay. The final consideration is that this light's going to be more expensive than your usual budget flashlight out there, especially those smaller ones. There's just way more components in there, and especially this larger battery. But, you know, overall, I think it's a great price to performance value if you're actually going to use it. Overall, the Haikelite RA40 has insane output. I like the high CRI LEDs in there. Feels rugged, high build quality as well, and long battery life with this gigantic 46950 cell battery. Do like that you've got onboard USB-C charging, can use it as a power bank. And yeah, I also like that it does have a low mode, like a 200 lumen mode, which should last for days on this giant battery. And I think this is perfect if you're going to be using it for search and rescue. Maybe you also live out on a rural property further out and it's, yeah, you need to illuminate larger areas. Also would be good for emergency prepping, outdoor workers that need to illuminate a large area, or if you're just someone that wants to own a huge monster flashlight that produces 35,000 lumens. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and if you have questions, drop them below and I'll get back to you. If you enjoyed the video and found it helpful, do me a favor, click the like button and share it with someone who might be interested. Just helps me to get my channel out to more people. And if you want to see more flashlight reviews and keep up to date with the latest flashlight news, make sure you subscribe. Haikelite RA40, and I've got the lowest mode here. It's just enough to see a few meters ahead. Second step. And mind you can set this to stepless ramping as well. This is just a bit easier for me to record and give you a relative gauge of brightness for each level. Okay. This is the third step. So there should be about 4,500 lumens, I believe. Fourth step, which is 8,000 lumens. And it's just incredible how it's lighting up this entire field all the way to the back. This is really the perfect floodlight. Incredible. High CRI, warm. Doesn't get hot. Double press for 35,000 lumens. Jeez. God, that is incredible. It's like the sun's just come out. It's absurd. And you do get a decent burst of this mode before it steps down. So it's still going. My God. I'll go for a bit of a walk so you can see the beam profile. Turbo. Well, it's be great if you need to illuminate a large area. You work out on a farm or something. I think it's stepped down now. Yep, it's definitely stepped down. It's getting hot, but just in the head, and I can still hold it quite okay. I wonder if I can reactivate. Yeah, I can reactivate turbo once more. I believe it. Yeah, it should step down a little faster again. Yep, I can already see it slowly starting to step down. But it is good that you can reactivate that turbo again and again. Look at all that moisture in the air. Haikelite RA40. This is the lowest mode on the ramp. Stepped ramp anyway. Second step. Third step. And a fourth step. Super bright. And 35,000 lumen mode is probably going to blow out the camera. Oh, yeah, this will be better once I go for a bit of a walk, kind of angling it upwards. It was so cold tonight, bloody freezing. And if I change it to the smooth ramp, you can see, just sort of press and hold. It's daytime. Here we go. All right, let's go for a walk.